Hi, I'm Mackie and I'm going to show you the Forest Fairy Lair kit. Okay, let me pop it up right here. This is a close-up image of the kit. We've got some really fun techniques going on, some crimp wraps and new top glues. Okay. Now here we go, and then I'm going to pop up the Alrighty. So here is most of the kit on the screen, and I'm just gonna jump right into it. So here I've assembled the right side of my necklace so far. So basically you'll see me go through this entire portion, and I'm going to go ahead and start with the part of the kit that I'm most excited about. And the part I'm most excited about is this new crimp wrap using an eye pin. So I'm sure it's not new to everybody, but we haven't shown it on ours yet. So should be super fun. What I'm gonna do is, actually I decided I like this way better. So I'm taking my chain nose with the eye pin, and I'm just going to do a little hook. So even farther than a 45-degree angle. So a full kind of like half loop. Zoom in a little bit for you. Half loop, and we're gonna crimp that around the silk, around the braided leather. So I'm just gonna pinch that kind of like a little hot dog. Going to hook that around, and you can feel there's some nice tension already happening, and just gonna scooch that up where I need that to go. And we're just going to pinch that down. So that's our first step, is creating that hook and then pinching it down. So that already shouldn't be moving. Next, I'm going to flip it over, and we're gonna hold right here, nice and hard, and we're gonna start to turn. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna switch it back towards me and pinch that original crimp that we've made, and we're just gonna keep on looping from there. And I'm trying to get in focus. There we go, that's better. All right, so now we're just gonna keep on wrapping this all the way. And you can keep trying to touch the other portion as you go. So it's a nice clean wrap. Wherever you need to grab your pliers in order to keep everything in line. Okay, keep going. I love using this, especially when you're in a pinch like I was and can't find your crimps. But also it adds a ton of whimsical nature to your piece. Now this part, obviously we've been wrapping perpendicular, but we're actually going to, and I'm gonna start to tuck that away as well so we can make that match better. So there we go, fixed that. Now this, I actually ended up taking the needle nose plier, and I'm gonna take it, I'm just gonna bend it up. Okay, so now that I got that started, it should be really easy to just bend straight up like that, and then we're gonna straighten it all out. And there is our gorgeous wrapped crimp. I love that, it's so fun. Now we're gonna go on to our next crimp, which will be the gorgeous vine. So what I did with this is I'm actually taking the curve of this top and the leaf here. So we're pretending that straight line, straight quote unquote, is going to go around both the silk and the leather. So that all the rest of that, pretend it's not there. kind of easier to compartmentalize in your brain a little bit. Now we're gonna switch this around. Okay, line that up nice and good. All right, so I ended up taking probably about 8 millimeters from where my thumb is to the rest. And remember, we've got to do our hot dog roll. All right, so the leaf we're gonna pinch up and around, and the leaf should cover most of that bottom area of the leather and silk. And it's okay if you don't get all the silk covered there. But that you're gonna pinch down, that already has incredible tension. But the rest we'll just do as backup. So here you get to pinch. I always like to make my life really nice and easy and pinch and hold everything in place just to make your life easier. All right, and then we're gonna curve this around. It's soft enough to use your fingers for most of it. Then at the very end, you're going to take that last little part and kind of curve and pull and then pinch it. Okay, so there is that. That's looking pretty gorge. I love that. Now, this is kind of fun because I like it personally when it's imperfect, the ribbon to leather. So like on this side, the leather is showing, but then on this side, the kind of silk is showing in the front. You can totally tailor it and you can pull it and tuck it around so that more leather is showing once you start getting your extra jump rings on there. But I'm happy with the messy look since it's fairy and fantasy. Okay, so that part is ready. We'll attach our things in a little bit. I'm just going to show you this glue portion. So this is really cool. It's actually is a drilled stone, but what I've done is just glued this bail to the top because it just really is so magical looking. Sorry, I've got paint in my nail. All right, so an important thing with this kit and technique is make sure that opening is facing you, and then you're gonna pinch. Imagine your stone in there. So we're gonna pinch that down in kind of an oval. See how that's creating a bit of an oval there? And then I always like to kind of push my stone up in there and shape it around there as well. And then you can pinch around. That already looks perfect. Perfect for me, which is a little bit imperfect, but definitely good enough. Okay, then I hold the bottom of the bail and gonna fill that with glue. All right, now for the fun part, we're just gonna stick that bail on top. And then I have a silicone paintbrush, which I love using for this because I just take this extra glue and tap it down around. Totally can use that to your advantage, and just make sure it's touching both of the bail and the stone. Okay, we're gonna let that dry. Now I'm gonna show you the component. It's the drop bead right here that goes in the sides of the necklace and also in the center of this stunning, oh my gosh, French filigree. My mom sourced these for us, and they're absolutely incredible. So that was a really fun opportunity to be able to use those. Okay, now I'm gonna take my little brass bead, then the gorgeous crackle glass bead, and now is just a classic wrapped loop. So I like to put my pliers there to get some space for where we're gonna be wrapping the rest of that wire. Now start your loop about 3.5 millimeters up from that bend. And then what I do is after I've curved it around the barrel, I actually pinch and pull the rest of the wire. So you should have kind of like, almost like the start of an and sign looking there. All right, and then I'm gonna pinch the top of that and start twirling. Okay. Again, I like to, oops, I'm starting to need glasses. I'm denying it because it just happened literally overnight, like 2 nights ago. So I'm struggling to see, but I'm probably gonna wait till next week to try glasses on because I'm kind of mad about it because I'm only 31 and I feel like I should not have to deal with the sight stuff right now. All right. So denial, period, you get to see. Anyway, there's our gorgeous little wrapped loop. And I've already pre-done the others thanks to Taya, her amazing idea of just doing that all up front so we didn't have to worry about it. Okay, we're gonna do that again with this fluted floral glass bead, so gorgeous. And that is actually fluted up. So we're going to do this pretty wrap loop so face down. So I put the single loop through the bottom portion of that. Sometimes when I have a longer eye pin or head pin, I actually use the chain nose because there's a little bit more thickness right there to leave space for our wraps. So we're gonna do that. And then we're going to curve again about 4 or 5 millimeters up that barrel and pull around, make that and sign. Okay, now pull around, and it's fun to get really technical and nice with it, or you can get nice and messy. But there, each time I'm pulling, I'm making sure that the bottom of the wire is touching the top portion that I just wrapped. That's a good way to make sure you get that wrapping perfectly. Almost done for the ends because my finger gets a little soft, like it's too soft for that. As it gets shorter, it gets harder to push. So I like to use the other plier to help pull it around, and then I kind of just bend it and pinch. Boop, boop. And that is definitely looking good enough for me. I love the teeny bit of messiness there. That's fun. All right. We're prepping all of our pieces. We're getting closer. I'm trying to make this nice and quick for us. Now, something cool that I did, instead of punching a hole with this gorgeous filigree, you'll notice here, so see how that comes open like that? We're actually gonna create a loop just with our filigree. All I'm gonna do is pull that and touch the bulb of there to that bulb. So let's do that quick. So take that, curve, almost like you're doing a regular loop. Okay, that's ready. Now for this earring, I liked, instead of them both going the same direction, I liked having them opposite. One of our customers, Lucine, she thinks, and I agree, when you have the pieces just going opposite when it comes to earrings, it makes your earrings look much more expensive. So I took that advice and I'm turning it the opposite way. So lucky in this case, because of the design, we don't need 2 different stampings. We just need to flip that one upside down. So that's fantastic. Going to take a JR20, and this already has a closed loop conveniently within the filigree. We're gonna, again, remember, face that flower up. Close it up. Okay, now onto This may be still drying just a little bit, so I might wait a second to finish that earring off. While I'm waiting, I'm going to punch these holes. Okay, so disclaimer, this today I'm using the 1.5 millimeter hole punch pliers by Vintage. I would suggest not using these because this is a very thick stamping, which is great for the value, but I would suggest using our screw down hole punch pliers. We just don't have them with us at the moment. So I'm actually going to just push through, push myself, and just kill my wrist. But with the screw down hole punch plier, all you'll do is align just like I'm doing here with that. And what you would do is then there's a twister knob on top that you'll twist down. Very easy to use, but I don't get to use that today. So I'm gonna move out of the screen too because it's gonna take a lot of effort. As I practically break the plier. Okay, and this, you'll have to wiggle if you're also just in a pinch and using our pliers and not the screw down hole punch, you'll have to do a lot of wiggling. So almost there, I promise. This is gonna be the longest part of the live. I mean, part of my tutorial is just getting this off. Okay, come on now. Almost there, I promise. But it is good because we're letting our little top glue dry. Now, some people say they prefer twisting it, and then my mom always says she prefers wiggling like this. Let's see if I can ever get this off today. This is cracking me up.
It takes so long.
I can't get this off. See, this is why I said the disclaimer. You need the screw down hole punch plier. Oh my gosh, so close too. In fact, let's order that right now. The sad part is I still have one more hole punch in this piece. Oh, so close. Help, Sawyer.
Well, we did just figure out the real trick.
Okay, can you?
Yep.
Did you put that back on? Is that the old hole punch that is here? That you used for the last?
No, this is a new hole.
It's a new one?
A new
Okay.
punch.
All right, I'm going to show you what Sawyer did too, if it happens again.
And you don't have to squeeze hard at all. All you need to do is get under it.
Okay, and you definitely should not run into this because, again, don't use this plier for this. It's way too thick of a piece. I just really needed that hole in there. Okay, so here we go again. Oh, that one came off a lot quicker, but really quick, what Sawyer was doing was when he had this through here, he actually took the side cutter and took it and popped it up. So he wiggled in the side cutter and took that and wiggled it back and forth, and that helped a lot. So that is looking good. Surprisingly, we didn't even mark up those holes. We could have totally messed up that filigree, and it's stunning and vintage. That would have been sad, but we didn't. Okay, the rest is gonna be so quick, I promise. Alrighty. That's what we get for moving. Moving studio spaces is not having everything we need. Oval edge jump ring time. Okay, we're gonna put that gorgeous bead we just did through that loop. We're gonna let that hang, and look how that hangs so perfectly. Yay! Now I have pre-done this top glue since I already showed you guys how to do that. Going to take the JR20. So there's only two different styles of jump rings. Most of them are the JR20. The only extra separate or different jump ring is that oval right there. Now going to, again with the glasses, thanks. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I'm literally gonna cry tonight. All right, put that through. I always use, especially if it's a super thick stamping like today, I use that to pull on the other side, and so I don't need to chain those pliers. Sometimes I like to do little workarounds like that. That is stunning. Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, now for the JR20 again for the earring, because this feels dry enough. Now we had looped that together, remember? And we're gonna attach that. That earring's forming very quickly. Gonna open the ear wire just like a jump ring as well. And remember to face your piece that you've made towards the front. String that through. Okay, our earrings are done. Wasn't that so easy and fun? Okay, let's put those up here because they're stunning. It's so pretty to look at. All right, now just for the last part of this, and we'll be in great shape. Again, Taya is so smart. I'm so grateful that you thought of prepping because that made this tutorial super quick. Okay, there's our earrings. All right, this side now. Okay, so all I did here, and we're doing the left side now. So all I did was take, and you can see here, I've got 2 jump rings. So what I do with this is, and it's kind of acting as a crimp. So I actually open it nice and wide since we have to get through around the silk and the leather. Actually going to go ahead and do that now. So I like to just pinch it all together and push it through. So it'll kind of look like that, and you got to bunch it and pull it through like that. Gonna close that up. Okay, there's 1. Now the first one I did 2. I kind of liked that. I liked that look of doing 2 and then 1 as the rest. You can decide to just do 1 on all of them if you like how that looks better. Okay, again, I'm gonna open it even farther than I usually would. Pinch and pull through that whole thing. Almost, oops, I was off screen. Almost like you're weaving it in. Okay, and then grab with your other chain nose and tuck those down together. There's just a teeny bit of tension, so you can still decide where to put those. That's about right, even in with the other side. Okay, now I'm going to take one of our pre-wrapped loops. I already showed that, so you can just rewind to that part if you need to. Now here, I like to pinch this here and kind of try and make some space between those 2 jump rings and wiggle that 3rd jump ring through. Okay, there's that. Already taking great shape. Now I'm gonna do the second one. So the second one up still has a bead on it, and then the last 2 will just be on their own. So here's that. So just 1 single one. So for that, I decided to just put it through already, so I didn't have to do more work. Oops, it flipped off. Okay, so pinch that ribbon around the leather. And then again, you don't have to get it perfect right as you get it on to your leather and silk because you're going to slide it into place. Okay, there we go. That you can also slide into place. So I'm going to wiggle that down. All right, now, and you should be getting about, I think it's about 25 to 30 jump rings per kit. So you should be in good shape with nice, lots of amounts of jump rings. Okay. Get all that through there. There we go. Takes a little bit of wiggling. All right, one last jump ring and then we'll attach the clasp and pendant and we'll be done. So here, last jump ring around our main area. Make sure that jump ring's nice and big, open, make your life easier. Okay. Close that up. And it's even fine if it kind of pinches the silk. You can always tuck it right back under and in. All right. Now, oh, I forgot. I did do a little tiny chainmail section just like Taya, which I guess I didn't prep that part, but let's see how fast I can get that together. So I'm going to do 2 closed jump rings and slip it on. So if you close up the jump rings, I'm not sure how Taya did it, but it's really just preference. I'm actually gonna even economize those loops. Just do that straight onto there. So then we can just go right to here. All right, and the reason I did this chainmail section is not only did I want to kind of match what Taya did so it would look like a collection, but also I needed a little bit of space up from the center into that filigree crimp. Just a little bit of breathing room, some visual space. Okay, gonna do that one more time. In fact, since I forgot to do that, Taya, would you mind grabbing me a couple more jump rings? I see one here, but I could probably use 2 or 3 more little JR20s if you don't mind. Thank you. And I did put enough in your guys' kit. It was just because I thought I had prepped this already, but your kit will come completely ready with the right amount. Okay, put that straight through there. Okay, gonna go through the center here and go through those 2. All right. Okay, now all we have to do is add our clasp. So for the clasp, I just did 1 jump ring connection to this cute little smaller clasp. I always put the clasp, if I'm looking at the necklace, I put it on the left, which means when you put it on, that will be the right, on your right hand. I'm a righty, so obviously put your clasp for whichever side you use. Then this one, sometimes the jump rings are kind of attached like this in the kits, or yeah, just always, because they kind of wiggle through each other. So sometimes I just go straight in there, close that up, open up the other, like so. Okay, we did it. That's it. Okay, I'm gonna put this up and show you guys because I love it. All right. This is our gorgeous fairy forest lair. So that's what I called it, right? Forest fairy lair.
Yeah.
Whatever, close enough. Forest fairy lair. So that's where that hangs. You can totally add chain to make it longer. You can clip the leather and silk to make it shorter. So whatever you prefer. And then I just wanted to show you the earrings up as well. I love those so much. Super fairy, fantasy, very gorgeous earrings. Super lightweight too. There we go. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching the Forest Fairy Lair tutorial. I hope you have so much fun making it.